The text came at 11:47 p.m., 3 days before my wedding, from my mother's number, but the words were clearly my father's. Cold, final, formal. After much consideration, your father and I have decided we cannot support your marriage to Marcus. We will not be attending the wedding. Furthermore, we feel it's best to sever ties completely. Do not contact us. We are no longer your parents. You are no longer our daughter. This is final. I read it 3 times. Sitting in my apartment, surrounded by wedding favors I'd been assembling, 3 days before I was supposed to walk down the aisle, disowned, by text message, at midnight. My fiancé Marcus was asleep in the bedroom, exhausted from wedding prep. He had no idea his future in-laws had just erased me from their family tree via SMS. I didn't cry. I was too shocked, too numb, too disbelieving. I texted back, "Is this real? Are you actually disowning me 3 days before my wedding?" The response came instantly, like they'd been waiting. "This is real. This is final. Do not contact us again." I called. Voicemail. I called my father's phone. Voicemail. I called their home line. No answer. They'd planned this, timed it, sent the text late enough that I couldn't show up at their door, early enough that I'd have to deal with it before the wedding. My phone buzzed again. Another text. From my mother's number. "We are removing you from all family assets, trust funds, inheritance, everything. You chose him over family. Live with that choice." That was 2 years ago, 3 days before my wedding. The wedding they didn't attend, the marriage they said would fail within a year. Today they're sitting in my lawyer's office, not because they want to reconcile, not because they've realized they were wrong, because they need my signature on documents to sell the family business. And legally, I still own 20%. They disowned me by text. Now they need me to save them. And they're about to learn exactly how final can be. If you've ever been cut off by family and then needed later, stay with me until the end. Your support means everything to me. Hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments. Would you help parents who disowned you? Let's talk about it. Now, back to my story. My name is Caroline Mitchell. I'm 31 years old, 2 years married, small business owner, living in Portland, Oregon. Marcus is my husband, 33, software engineer, kind, supportive, the man my parents decided wasn't good enough for their daughter. Let me back up, explain how we got to that text message, to that moment, to that decision. I grew up in Seattle, wealthy family. My father owned a manufacturing company his grandfather started, Mitchell Industries, industrial parts, government contracts, multi-million-dollar operation. My mother didn't work. She managed the family image, society events, charity boards, making sure the Mitchell name meant something. I was the only child, the heir, the one expected to marry well, produce grandchildren, continue the legacy. They had plans for me, Ivy League education, marriage to someone from the right family, life as a society wife, maybe a board position at the company, mostly just existing correctly. I tried to follow the script, went to Yale, studied business, dated men they approved of, men from families like ours, men with pedigrees and trust funds and futures mapped out at birth. I hated every single one of them. Not because they were bad people. They weren't. They were just empty, focused on status, on maintaining position, on doing what was expected. At 25, I moved to Portland, told my parents I needed space to figure out who I was outside their plans. They tolerated it. "She needs to rebel a little. She'll come back. They always do." I got a job in marketing, started from the bottom, made my own money, built my own life, found out who I was when nobody was watching. That's where I met Marcus, at a coffee shop. I spilled my latte. He helped me clean it up. We talked. He made me laugh, asked for my number. We dated for 6 months before I told my parents about him. That was my first mistake. I should have waited longer, or never told them at all. The moment I mentioned him, they wanted details. What family was he from? What did his father do? Where did he go to school? He's a software engineer, self-taught. His parents are teachers. He grew up in a small town in Oregon. The silence was deafening. "Teachers," my mother finally said. His parents are teachers. Yes, high school teachers, math and English. And he didn't attend university? He did. State school, computer science. Then he taught himself advanced programming. He's brilliant. He makes good money. He's not suitable, my father interrupted. Caroline, you can date whoever you want. But marriage is different. Marriage is about family, legacy. This man isn't from our world. I don't want your world. I want a partner, someone who loves me for me, not for my last name or my trust fund. You're being naive. Romance fades. What matters is foundation, compatibility of background, shared values. We have shared values. We both value kindness, honesty, building something real. He's after your money, my mother said. Obviously, a software engineer from nowhere meets a Mitchell. Do the math. He doesn't know about the money. I haven't told him. Then he'll be even more excited when he finds out. Caroline, we're not forbidding this. We're warning you. This man is not appropriate. I ignored them, kept seeing Marcus, kept falling in love, kept building a life that had nothing to do with their expectations. Marcus proposed after 2 years. Simple proposal. Hike to a waterfall. Ring he'd saved for months to buy. Just us. No spectacle. Perfect. I said yes. Called my parents the next day. We're engaged. Another silence. I see. Have you set a date? Next spring, April. We're thinking small wedding, intimate, just family and close friends. And you expect us to attend? You're my parents. Of course I expect you to attend. Caroline, we've been clear. This man is not acceptable. We cannot support this marriage. I'm not asking for support. I'm asking you to be there, to celebrate with me. If you marry him, you're choosing to leave this family, to abandon your responsibilities, your legacy, everything we've built. I'm choosing to live my own life. That's not abandonment. That's growing up. Then grow up and face consequences. Marry this man and you're no longer a Mitchell. You're no longer our daughter. I thought they were bluffing, making threats to scare me, change my mind. They'd done it before with smaller things, threatened to cut me off when I moved to Portland, threatened to disinherit me when I took the marketing job. They always backed down. I thought this would be the same. I was wrong. 3 days before the wedding, that text came, and I realized they weren't bluffing. I showed Marcus the next morning, told him what they'd said, what they'd done. He held me while I finally cried. We can postpone. Give them time to come around. No, they had 2 years to come around. This is their choice. We're getting married with or without them. Are you sure? I'm sure about you, about us. They're the ones who aren't sure about me. My wedding day arrived. Small ceremony, 50 guests, Marcus's family, my friends, a few cousins who defied my parents' orders to boycott. I walked myself down the aisle. No father, no mother, just me. Choosing my future. It should have hurt more, should have devastated me. But standing there, looking at Marcus, surrounded by people who actually loved me, I felt free. My parents had spent my whole life telling me what to do, who to be, what mattered. Walking down that aisle alone was the first thing I'd ever done purely for myself. The marriage was beautiful. The reception was joyful. We honeymooned in Costa Rica, came back to our apartment, started our life, and I never heard from my parents again. For 2 years, silence. Total silence. They made good on their threat. I wasn't invited to Christmas, wasn't called on my birthday, didn't get a card, a text, an email, nothing. They removed me from the trust fund. I found out when the lawyer sent paperwork. Your parents have requested removal of Caroline Mitchell from the Mitchell Family Trust. Please sign to acknowledge. I signed. What choice did I have? They changed their wills. I heard through a cousin. You're not in the will anymore. Everything goes to charity. They're serious about this. I grieved. Not the money, the relationship, the parents I'd thought I had, the people who'd raised me, who I'd loved. who I'd thought loved me. But life went on. Marcus and I built our life. I started a small consulting business. He got promoted. We bought a modest house, made friends, created traditions. We were happy, really happy, not wealthy, not society adjacent, just happy. My mother-in-law became my mother figure. Marcus's parents welcomed me completely, treated me like the daughter they'd never had, showed me what unconditional love looked like. I learned what family could be when it wasn't transactional, when love wasn't contingent on obedience. 18 months after my wedding, my father had a stroke. Mild, but scary. I heard through the same cousin. "Your dad's in the hospital. Stroke. He's okay, but he's slowing down. Your mom's struggling to manage everything." I sent flowers. Anonymously. Didn't sign the card. Didn't expect acknowledgement. I got neither. 6 months after that, the business started struggling. Supply chain issues, lost contracts, industry changes. Mitchell Industries was bleeding money. I heard rumors, through business contacts, through news articles. The company my great-grandfather built was failing. My father was too sick to manage it properly. My mother had no business experience. They'd hired managers who'd made bad decisions. The company needed to be sold, or restructured, or something, but it required unanimous shareholder approval, and I was still technically a shareholder, 20%, given to me when I turned 21, part of estate planning, never revoked, because they'd disowned me so quickly, they'd never gotten around to the legal paperwork. I owned 20% of the failing family business, and they needed me to sign off on any major decisions. The call came on a Tuesday, from a number I didn't recognize. "Caroline, this is Walter Chen, your family's attorney. I know who you are. Your parents would like to meet with you, to discuss business matters. Tell my parents they can call me themselves." They felt it would be more appropriate to go through legal channels. They disowned me by text, but selling the business requires appropriate channels? I understand there's been a difficult family situation. Difficult? They cut me off 3 days before my wedding, removed me from family assets, told me I was dead to them. That's not difficult. That's cruel. I'm not here to litigate the past. I'm here to arrange a meeting. Will you meet with them? Why should I? Because the business is in trouble. It needs to be sold. But legally, you still own 20%. We need your signature on the sale documents. There it was. They needed me. After 2 years of silence, of erasure, of pretending I didn't exist, they needed me. What's in it for me? 20% of the sale price. The company is being sold for $12 million. Your share would be $2.4 million. $2.4 million. More money than I'd ever imagined having. Enough to change my life, pay off our house, start a bigger business, secure our future. I'll think about it. Caroline, time is of the essence. The buyer is waiting. If we don't close soon, they'll walk. The company will continue to bleed money. It could end up worthless. Then you'd better hope I think quickly. I hung up, sat with it, processed it. Marcus came home. I told him everything. What do you want to do? I don't know. Part of me wants to refuse, let the company fail, let them lose everything, the way they made me lose them. And the other part? Wants the money, wants to take what I'm legally owed and walk away clean. Both are valid. But which is right? Only you can answer that. I called a lawyer. Not Walter Chen, my own lawyer. Explained the situation. You have leverage. Use it. Don't just sign, negotiate. Get what you want, on your terms. What do I want? That's the question you need to answer. I spent a week thinking, planning, deciding. Then I called Walter Chen back. I'll meet with them, Friday, 2 p.m., at your office, but I have conditions. What conditions? I'll tell you at the meeting. See you Friday. Friday arrived. I dressed carefully, professional, polished, successful looking. I wanted them to see what I'd built without them. Marcus came with me, sat in the waiting room, moral support, backup, witness. Walter Chen greeted me. Thank you for coming. Your parents are in the conference room. Are they now? Caroline, I know this is difficult. You have no idea what this is. Let's just get it done. I walked into the conference room. There they were, my parents, looking older, tired, stressed. My father had lost weight. The stroke had left him slower, more careful in his movements. My mother looked hardened, brittle, like she'd been holding herself together through sheer will. Neither stood when I entered. Neither smiled. Neither said hello. Caroline, my father said, formal, like I was a business associate, not his daughter. Mr. Mitchell, Mrs. Mitchell. Two could play that game. My mother flinched. First crack in the armor. Walter Chen sat at the head of the table, spread out documents, sale agreements, transfer papers, signatures needed everywhere. This is straightforward, he began. The company is being sold to Apex Manufacturing for $12 million. As a 20% shareholder, you're entitled to $2.4 million. In exchange, you sign these documents. Transfer your shares. Release all claims. Simple transaction. Nothing about this is simple, my father spoke. Caroline, we understand you're angry. Angry? You think I'm angry? You disowned me by text, 3 days before my wedding. You cut me out of your lives completely, erased me, pretended I didn't exist, and now you need me. So you call me in like a business transaction. You think angry even begins to cover it? We did what we thought was right. For who? Not for me. You did what protected your pride, your status, your image. You chose appearances over your daughter. Don't pretend that was righteous. My mother tried. You chose that man over us. I chose my husband, my partner, the man who loves me unconditionally, unlike you, who loved me only when I obeyed. That's not fair. 2 years, 2 years of silence. You didn't call on my birthday, my anniversary, Christmas. You didn't check if I was alive, dead, struggling, thriving. You erased me, and now you need me, and you expect me to just sign, to help you? Why would I do that? Walter Chen intervened. Caroline, I understand there's history, but this is business, legal obligation. You sign, you get $2.4 million, everyone moves forward. I'm not signing. The room went silent. What? My father's face reddened. You have to sign. You're legally obligated. I'm legally entitled to my shares, not obligated to sell them. You want to sell the company? You need unanimous shareholder approval. I'm saying no. You can't be serious. I'm completely serious. You wanted me out of the family? Fine. I'm out, but I'm keeping my shares. Good luck selling without me. My mother's composure cracked. Caroline, please. We need this sale. The company is failing. If we don't sell now, we lose everything. Everything? Like I lost everything 2 years ago? You didn't lose everything. You had your husband, your life, your choices. I lost my parents, my family, my inheritance, my identity, everything that tied me to my childhood, to my history. You took that, by text, at midnight, 3 days before my wedding. We were protecting the family legacy. No, you were punishing me for disobedience, for choosing love over duty, for being human instead of perfect. Walter Chen tried a different approach. What would it take for you to sign? What do you want? I pulled out my own documents, prepared by my lawyer, slid them across the table. These are my terms. Meet them, I sign. Refuse, I don't. My father grabbed the papers, read. His face went from red to purple. This is extortion. This is negotiation. You want something from me. I want something from you. Business transaction, just like you said. My mother read over his shoulder, gasped. You can't be serious. Read it out loud, so everyone's clear. Walter Chen took the documents, read aloud. Terms for Caroline Mitchell's signature on sale of Mitchell Industries. 1. Full apology, written and verbal, acknowledging wrongful disownment, published in family Christmas letter. 2. Restoration to family, inclusion in all family events, treatment as daughter, not outcast. 3. 25% of sale price, not 20. 4. Separate payment of $500,000 for emotional damages, pain and suffering caused by disownment. 5. Acknowledgement of Marcus Mitchell as family member, invitation to all family events, respectful treatment. 6. All terms non-negotiable. Refusal of any term results in Caroline retaining shares indefinitely. The room was silent. Then my father exploded. You want $3.5 million instead of 2.4, plus a public apology? This is blackmail. This is consequences. You taught me actions have them. I'm just applying that lesson. We will never apologize for protecting our family. Then we're done here. Good luck saving the company without my signature. I hope bankruptcy treats you well. I stood, gathered my papers, headed for the door. Wait! My mother's voice cracked, desperate. Caroline, wait, please. I stopped, didn't turn around. We can't lose the company. It's all we have. Your father's legacy, your great-grandfather's legacy, generations of work. It can't end like this. It ended when you texted me that I was dead to you. This is just the paperwork. What do you want? Really? What will make you sign? I turned around, looked at them. Really looked. They were broken, desperate, scared. Everything I'd been 2 years ago when they cut me off. Karma isn't revenge, it's just patterns coming home. I want what I asked for. Apology, restoration, fair payment, respect for my husband. That's not negotiable. That's the price of my signature. My father was shaking. Rage, fear, humiliation. You destroy the family business over pride? You destroyed our family relationship over pride. 2 years ago. I'm just matching your energy. We sat back down. Walter Chen mediated. My parents fumed. I stayed calm. Let's go through the terms one by one, Walter said. Caroline, you're asking for a written apology. What specifically should it say? That disowning me was wrong, that they regret the decision, that they should have supported my marriage, that they were cruel and unfair. In writing, signed by both of them, sent to every family member who was told to boycott my wedding. My mother closed her eyes. You're asking us to humiliate ourselves. You humiliated me, by text, to my face, in front of our entire social circle. I'm asking for accountability. That's not the same thing. Term 2, Walter continued. Restoration to family. What does that mean specifically? Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthdays, family events. I'm invited. I'm welcomed. I'm treated like a daughter, not a stranger, not a disappointment. A daughter. We can agree to that, my father muttered. With Marcus, he's invited too. No more pretending he doesn't exist. Fine. Term 3, 25% instead of 20. That's $3 million instead of $2.4 million. That's $600,000 more. That's ridiculous, my father snapped. Your shares are worth 20%. My shares are worth what you're willing to pay to get them. 20% is the legal minimum. 25% is the price of my cooperation. You can pay it or find another buyer who doesn't need unanimous approval. Walter Chen did the math. If you pay Caroline 25%, that leaves $9 million split between you. You'd each get $4.5 million. We'd each get nothing if she doesn't sign, I pointed out. This way, everyone profits. You just profit slightly less than planned. My parents exchanged looks, defeated looks. They were going to agree. I could see it. Term 4, Walter continued. Separate payment of $500,000 for emotional damages. Absolutely not, my father said. That's absurd. We're not paying you to have feelings. You're paying me for the damage you caused. 2 years of therapy, 2 years of grief, 2 years of rebuilding from the trauma you inflicted. $500,000 doesn't begin to cover it, but it's a start. We don't have that kind of money. You're each getting $4.5 million from the sale. You have it. You just don't want to part with it. My mother spoke quietly. If we agree to 25%, we can't also pay $500,000. The numbers don't work. I'd expected this, had a counter ready. Fine. Then 25% stands. And you forgive the $200,000 you spent on my college education. Consider it my emotional damages payment. I don't owe you for Yale anymore. We're even." They'd held that debt over my head for years. We paid for Yale, you owe us. Every disagreement, every boundary. Remember who funded your education. Now I was wiping it clean, taking the weapon out of their hands. My father's jaw clenched, but he nodded. "Agreed. 25%. Yale debt forgiven. Term 5. Acknowledgement of Marcus's family. Respectful treatment." "We'll treat him civilly," my mother said. "Not civilly. Family. You'll include him in family photos, introduce him as your son-in-law, invite him to golf outings and fishing trips, and whatever else you do with family. He's not my +1. He's your son-in-law." "That's asking a lot. You asked me to erase him from my life. I'm asking you to include him in yours. Fair trade." Another long pause. Then, "Fine. We'll treat him as family. Term 6. All terms non-negotiable. If you violate any of these terms, the agreement is void, and I keep the shares." "How long?" Walter asked. "How long do these terms stay in effect?" "Forever, or until I die, whichever comes first. This isn't a temporary arrangement. This is permanent change or no deal." My father looked at Walter. "Can she do this?" "Legally? She owns the shares. She can set any terms she wants for their sale. You can accept or refuse, but if you refuse, the sale doesn't happen. And if the sale doesn't happen? The company continues to lose money, eventually declares bankruptcy. The shares become worthless. Everyone loses." My father put his head in his hands. My mother stared at the table. Two people who'd wielded power my entire life, suddenly powerless. "We need to discuss this privately," my father finally said. "Take your time. I'll be in the waiting room with my husband." I walked out, sat next to Marcus, told him everything. "They're going to agree," he said. "How do you know?" "Because they're desperate, and you're giving them a way to save face while getting what you need. They'll take it." 20 minutes later, Walter Chen called me back in. My parents sat there, defeated, aged, broken. "We agree," my father said. "To all terms, the apology, the family restoration, 25%, Marcus as family, all of it." "In writing?" "Walter will draft the documents. We'll sign." "When?" "By Monday. You'll have everything by Monday." I looked at them, really looked, tried to feel something. Victory, satisfaction, vindication. I felt nothing, just tired. "Okay, Monday. I'll review the documents. If they match what we've agreed, I'll sign." "Caroline." My mother's voice was small, broken. "I'm sorry for what we did, how we did it, the text, the timing, all of it. I'm sorry." It wasn't the written apology, wasn't public, but it was something. I appreciate that. Can we start over? Try to rebuild? We can try, but it won't be the same. Too much has happened. Too much has been said. We'll build something new, or we won't. But the old relationship is dead. You killed it. She nodded, tears in her eyes. I understand. Monday came. The documents arrived, everything exactly as promised. Written apology, detailed, specific, acknowledging everything they'd done wrong, signed by both parents, family restoration clause, legal language making me a full family member again, including Marcus, financial terms, 25% of sale, $3 million to me, Yale debt forgiven, documented, notarized, I signed, my lawyer witnessed, the shares transferred, the sale went through, $3 million hit my bank account, more money than I'd ever imagined having. Marcus and I sat there, looking at the balance, not quite believing it. "What do we do with it?" he asked. "First, pay off the house, no mortgage, that's security. And the rest? Invest most of it, save it, use some to expand the business. Maybe take a real honeymoon, the one we couldn't afford 2 years ago. And your parents? We'll see. They apologized, they signed, now they have to follow through, show up, Include us. Treat you like family. If they do, we'll try. If they don't, we have the money and we walk away." Christmas came. 3 months after the sale, I was invited, officially, in writing. I showed Marcus the invitation. "We don't have to go. Do you want to?" Part of me does. Part of me wants to see if they meant it, if anything's actually changed. Then let's go. Give them one chance. We went. To my parents' house, the house I grew up in. Hadn't been inside for 2.5 years. My mother opened the door, hugged me, awkwardly, stiffly, but she tried. "Caroline, Marcus, come in. Thank you for coming." Inside, the tree was up, decorated like always, stockings on the mantel, including 2 new ones. One said Caroline, one said Marcus. My mother saw me looking. I thought, it's time to include you, both of you. Christmas dinner was strange, stilted, conversations that didn't flow naturally, silences that lasted too long. But my father talked to Marcus, asked about his work, his hobbies, tried, badly, but tried. My mother asked about the business, my consulting work, my plans. It wasn't warm, wasn't like family used to be, but it was something, a beginning, maybe. After dinner, my father asked to speak to me privately, in his study. "Caroline, I wanted to say something, away from everyone else." "Okay." "I was wrong, about Marcus, about your marriage. I judged him without knowing him. Decided he wasn't good enough based on nothing but prejudice, class prejudice, educational prejudice, all of it wrong. Thank you for saying that. He's a good man. I can see that now. He loves you, takes care of you, makes you happy. That should have been enough, from the beginning. But it wasn't. No, because I was more concerned with appearances than your actual happiness. I'm sorry for that. Truly. I appreciate the apology, but Dad, it's going to take time. To rebuild trust. To feel like your daughter again. You can't just apologize and expect everything to be fine. I know. I'm not asking for that. I'm asking for a chance. To prove I've changed. To show up. To be your father again, even if it's different than before. We can try. That's all I can promise. That's enough. A year after that Christmas, things are better. Not perfect, but better. My parents come to dinner once a month. At our house, they bring wine, ask about our lives, include Marcus in conversations. My mother volunteers to help with my business, offers connections, uses her network to send clients my way, trying to support what I've built. My father and Marcus golf. Sometimes. They're not close, but they're cordial, respectful. That's something. We're rebuilding. Slowly. A new relationship. Not the one we had. That's dead. Gone. Killed by a text message 2.5 years ago. This is different. Built on honesty instead of obedience. Boundaries instead of expectations. Choice instead of obligation. Last month, my mother apologized again. More deeply. More specifically. I chose my husband. My partner. The man who loves me unconditionally. Unlike you, who loved me only when I obeyed. That's not fair. 2 years. 2 years of silence. You didn't call on my birthday, my anniversary, Christmas. You didn't check if I was alive, dead, struggling, thriving. You erased me, and now you need me, and you expect me to just sign, to help you? Why would I do that? Walter Chen intervened. Caroline, I understand there's history, but this is business, legal obligation. You sign, you get $2.4 million, everyone moves forward. I'm not signing. The room went silent. What? My father's face reddened. You have to sign. You're legally obligated. I'm legally entitled to my shares, not obligated to sell them. You want to sell the company? You need unanimous shareholder approval. I'm saying no. You can't be serious. I'm completely serious. You wanted me out of the family? Fine. I'm out, but I'm keeping my shares. Good luck selling without me. My mother's composure cracked. Caroline, please. We need this sale. The company is failing. If we don't sell now, we lose everything. Everything? Like I lost everything 2 years ago? You didn't lose everything. You had your husband, your life, your choices. I lost my parents, my family, my inheritance, my identity, everything that tied me to my childhood, to my history. You took that, by text, at midnight, 3 days before my wedding. We were protecting the family legacy. No, you were punishing me for disobedience, for choosing love over duty, for being human instead of perfect. Walter Chen tried a different approach. What would it take for you to sign? What do you want? I pulled out my own documents, prepared by my lawyer, slid them across the table. These are my terms. Meet them, I sign. Refuse, I don't. My father grabbed the papers, read. His face went from red to purple. This is extortion. This is negotiation. You want something from me. I want something from you. Business transaction, just like you said. My mother read over his shoulder, gasped. You can't be serious. Read it out loud, so everyone's clear. Walter Chen took the documents, read aloud. Terms for Caroline Mitchell's signature on sale of Mitchell Industries. 1. Full apology, written and verbal, acknowledging wrongful disownment, published in Family Christmas Letter. 2. Restoration to family, inclusion in all family events, treatment as daughter, not outcast. 3. 25% of sale price, not 20. 4. Separate payment of $500,000 for emotional damages, pain and suffering caused by disownment. 5. Acknowledgement of Marcus Mitchell as family member, invitation to all family events, respectful treatment. 6. All terms non-negotiable. Refusal of any term results in Caroline retaining shares indefinitely. The room was silent. Then my father exploded. You want $3.5 million instead of 2.4, plus a public apology? This is blackmail. This is consequences. You taught me actions have them. I'm just applying that lesson. We will never apologize for protecting our family. Then we're done here. Good luck saving the company without my signature. I hope bankruptcy treats you well. I stood, gathered my papers, headed for the door. Wait! My mother's voice cracked, desperate. Caroline, wait, please. I stopped, didn't turn around. We can't lose the company. It's all we have. Your father's legacy, your great-grandfather's legacy, generations of work. It can't end like this. It ended when you texted me that I was dead to you. This is just the paperwork. What do you want? Really? What will make you sign? I turned around, looked at them. Really looked. They were broken, desperate, scared. Everything I'd been 2 years ago when they cut me off. Karma isn't revenge, it's just patterns coming home. I want what I asked for. Apology, restoration, fair payment, respect for my husband. That's not negotiable. That's the price of my signature.